What's up, guys, and welcome back to another video. Hope everyone's having a wonderful day today. So my name is Andrew Heichman, and in today's video we take a look at the radar view as well as the models in regard to this winter storm that's expected to impact bits of the Mid-Atlantic region. We'll take a look at that solely on today's video as well as the National Weather Service hazards. So guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on into it. Alright guys, so we're taking a look at the radar view in terms of what is currently going on across the nation. So, we actually do have an area of low pressure that is getting ready to track itself in through bits of the Carolinas, tracking itself to the northeast. Now, depending on where this track goes, this will actually alter the accumulations by quite a bit in terms of snowfall across the area here in Virginia. So, we actually currently do see some snow falling across bits of Kentucky and through western Tennessee as well as northeastern parts of bits of Mississippi. You know, this is just now starting to exit the region of Mississippi. This is the same system that's going to cause a lot of the snow to fall across bits of the Mid-Atlantic region. We'll take a look at the models here in a second. So we do have an area of low pressure that's located pretty much across southeast. We'll track its way over the Carolinas and eventually out to sea, but this will be the main cause of this snow to fall across the region. It is expected to strengthen once it reaches kind of around the Carolina area, which is allowing for some heavy snow to fall across bits of the northern portions of this area of low pressure. So let's go and take a look here at the models. Let's go and take a look at the GFS model and let's see what this has to say about the timing of this snowstorm as well as the accumulation factor of the storm. Alright guys, so we're taking a look here at the models in terms of things. We're taking a look here at your long-range American model, also known as your GFS. So, as we were seeing on the radar, we do have all this precipitation across the southeast as well as the snow. It's currently falling across bits of Mississippi, Tennessee, as well as bits of Kentucky. Now, further down the line, here's where things start to get interesting. So, basically around, 1 o'clock in the morning, we actually start to see the snow start to advance its way across bits of Alabama, bits of central parts of Tennessee, and through eastern parts of Kentucky, and eventually in through bits of West Virginia. Now, honestly, this will actually, probably start off as rain for a lot of you guys across bits of North Carolina into Virginia here, starting off as rain for those early hours, but once we start to get some of that colder air, this will actually quickly transition into snow. So now we're taking a look here at around 7 o'clock in the morning. This is around when everyone's starting to go to work and everything like that. We're going to be expecting a lot of heavy snowfall, quick accumulations out of this to be falling across the region for tomorrow's commute. So I'm sure there's already a lot of schools that are canceled for tomorrow because this is going to be quite a bad event. This is going to be quite a strong event in terms of snow, potentially up over a foot in some of these areas. So let's just take a look at that in terms of accumulations here in a second. So then as we start to move into around 1 o'clock p.m., there will still be snow across bits of the central and eastern parts of Virginia and through bits of eastern parts of Maryland into Delaware and southern parts of New Jersey, but it's starting to kind of exit the region here pretty much by the evening hours tomorrow. Now there might still be some snow showers, pretty much across bits of the afternoon into tomorrow. By evening into the night, it should be mostly out of the region. Then we'll actually have high pressure building across bits of the Mid-Atlantic, leading to some pretty sunny conditions for on the 4th. So let's go and take a look here at the accumulation factor in terms of what the GFS model has to say about the snowfall accumulation from the system. Alright guys, so we're taking a look here at the accumulation factor in terms of what the GFS model has to say. So let's just go ahead and project all the snowfall across the region. So we're actually potentially seeing a lot of heavy snowfall across the region here, potentially over a foot, maybe up to near 17 inches according to what this model has to say. But obviously, let me go ahead and tell you now, do not get your hopes off based off of what this says. Just get an idea based off with the model. You cannot trust one model individually. I'll show you why here in a second. So we're currently seeing, over a foot of snow across a lot of the area here, basically a lot of areas here across bits of the central parts of Virginia. As we start to move into the northern parts of Virginia, honestly, maybe up to a foot being possible, kind of near the DC area, maybe around, 4 to 8 inches across bits of Baltimore. That's kind of what we're seeing in terms of what the GFS model has to say. Obviously, a lot of accumulation is expected across the Mid-Atlantic region, potentially, so that's basically what we're seeing there. Now, let's go and take a look here at the European model. Let's see what this one has to say about the accumulations. We'll kind of compare, the differences and similarities between what these has to say. So let's go and take a look at that. Alright guys, so we're taking a look here at the accumulation factor in terms of what your European model has to say. So we're going to go ahead and project the snowfall like we did on the GFS model. So this one is showing the same thing, potentially over a foot across the central parts here of Virginia, tracking its way through bits of southern parts of Maryland. I mean, look at this. Near Prince William County, near my hometown, we're potentially seeing maybe up to 10 inches of snow across the region in terms of what your European model has to say. Overall, a lot of snow is expected to fall across Virginia, eastern parts of Maryland, and through Delaware and southern parts of New Jersey. Potentially well over a half a foot of snow possible. But for the most part, we actually have some instances maybe over a foot. Now, guys, let's go and take a look here at the NAM model. This is a shorter range model, but it's a lot more higher resolution. And let's see what this one has to say about the accumulations. And following that, we'll take a look at the National Weather Service blend of models. So let's go and take a look at the NAM model, and let's see what this one has to say about your upcoming accumulations. Alright, so we go ahead and project here in the future in terms of what your NAM model has to say. Same thing in terms of what your GFS model had to say and your European model had to say. Obviously, a lot of snowfall for the central parts here of Virginia, but look at this. Look how close this, this snow line really kind of gets towards the DC area. Basically, across bits of northern Virginia. This is showing really little to no snowfall across bits of, pretty much near Strasburg. Not too much according to what your NAM model has to say. Prince William County barely getting snow in terms of this. So this snow line is much lower in terms of what your GFS and your European NAM model have to say. Now, guys, let me go ahead and tell you something. We're going to take a look here at the National Weather Service blend of models. This just takes a whole bunch of model outputs, puts them together to kind of give you your best bet in terms of overall what you can expect for accumulation. So let's go and take a look at this model, and let's see what we're dealing with in terms of your accumulations. All right, so we're going to go ahead and project here in the future in terms of what this model has to say. Now, like I said, just takes a whole bunch of models, kind of blends them together. So this model in particular is showing a decent amount of snowfall, potentially up to 8-9 inches across the central parts of Virginia. Across the northern parts of Virginia, maybe 3 to 5 inches of locally higher amounts possible. So there obviously is a lot of differences between what these models have to say, but the potential is pretty large. In some areas, could potentially see a decent amount of snowfall. Still, we're still seeing some heavy snowfall across the eastern parts here of Maryland and into bits of Delaware, as well as bits of southern parts of New Jersey. Maybe up to near a foot across bits of central parts of Delaware, according to what this model has to say. Now, guys, let's go and take a look here at the National Weather Service forecast in terms of what our local office here in Northern Virginia has to say about the accumulation. Alrighty, guys, so we're taking a look at the National Weather Service forecast in terms of the low-end snow accumulation. So across the shaded area, we're potentially seeing up to 1 to 3 inches across these regions here. Pretty much little to no snowfall expected across bits of the northern parts of Virginia and through bits of Maryland. Now, like I said, guys, this is the low-end amount, showing that there is a 90% chance of this not happening. 90% chance of this having more and heavier terms of accumulation. So guys, let's take a look here at the expected in terms of accumulation, in terms of what your National Weather Service has to say about this. Alrighty, guys, so this is actually the expected amount in terms of snowfall according to the National Weather Service. So, across the tan shaded areas, potentially 5 to 8 inches is expected across these regions. Across the yellow shaded areas near Lexington Park, maybe up to 8 to 12 inches, maybe up to a foot across the region here. Near Winchester, maybe 2 to 3 across the region. Pretty much near Cumberland, maybe near, maybe less than an inch across the region there. So, obviously, across northern Virginia, there's a pretty decent potential in how much snow we can actually see. Now, guys, let's go and take a look here at the higher percentile. Let's go see what we're dealing with in terms of what the max amount of snowfall we could see. Alrighty, guys, so we're taking a look here at the high-end amount in terms of accumulation from your National Weather Service. So, across the orange area, potentially 13 to 14 inches across this area here, even in through bits of the Blue Ridge Mountains across those upper elevations here. Maybe over a foot expected. Now, the areas here kind of in the yellow, especially towards Prince William County, maybe up to 10 inches. And honestly, near Nokesville, Manassas, maybe 10 to 12 inches being possible here in your higher amount. Now, like I said, guys, this is your high-end amount. This only has about a 10% chance of happening. But the risk is pretty large in terms of things. So potentially, like I was saying, we're dealing with a potential of a lot of snowfall across bits of northern Virginia. For bits of extreme northwestern parts of Maryland, maybe up to maybe near 2 inches, which across the northwestern part of Maryland, we're not really expecting too much. It's just really kind of isolated across bits of central and northern parts of Virginia. Now, guys, let's go and take a look here at the National Weather Service hazards, and let's see what kind of warnings and watches we currently do have in effect for this upcoming winter weather. Alright, guys, so we're taking a look here at the National Weather Service hazards in terms of what we're currently expecting across bits of the Mid-Atlantic region. So we do have a lot of winter weather advisories across this, pretty much blue shaded areas across bits of the southeast and through the Tennessee Valley and into bits of the Mid-Atlantic region, showing that some impacts of winter weather is expected to occur. Now, in terms of heavy impacts, we actually do have some winter storm warnings in effect across these areas here in pink, showing that heavy impacts of winter weather is expected. And you guys should definitely monitor this relatively closely because we are expecting a lot of snowfall to fall across the region. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much what we're dealing with in terms of the video. I just want to go ahead and do an update for you guys. Now, if you guys did like it, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as leave a like. It would be greatly appreciated. You guys are awesome. But anyways, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video, and I'll catch you all in the next one.